Welcome to the video. Before I get into it, I just want to let you know what you guys are in for. This video is about how to deal with a breakup, so it's going to be unlike anything you've ever heard. It's not going to be the advice you've seen in any other video. It's not going to be the advice your friends or your family give you. This one is specifically for people who are on a path of self-improvement, and this one is about how to deal with a breakup when you outgrow the person. And while I spend a lot of the video talking about the perspective of a man to a woman, because that's more personal to me, it does not mean you can't apply this information to any relationship you're in, even if it's just friend to friend. Now let's get right into it. Dealing with a breakup. Ooh, this is not a video you probably want to watch. This is probably not a video this is not a video I want to talk about. I'm gonna talk about though just what's really going on in my mind. I definitely feel like this is a subject I can make endless amount of videos on, because there's definitely an endless amount of advice I could talk about with this. I could keep it simple. I could just talk about meditating. I'm not going to do that, but as an example, because that's just one way to help you deal with it emotionally. More mental, I could talk about processing emotions. So I definitely got videos on meditating. I definitely got videos on processing emotions if you want to look into that. Dealing with depression, though I want to talk about today something really pragmatic, something simple, some mind shift, just an idea that I honestly think is really going to help somebody out there, and I hope that person's watching right now. Dealing with a breakup, and this is really going to go for the kind of person who's going to bother to search this subject, actually click on this video, actually sit on it this long and actually watch it. This is for you, because this is going to apply to you. One of the real reasons you may have gotten a breakup that you're completely unaware of, and this is not something you're, maybe you suspect it. I think for me, I actually did suspect this was a thing for a while, but I didn't really start to believe it until someone who I follow and I look up to and I take his advice actually told me this idea. The same principle that I'm going to speak about it my own way. Done rambling, going to get into it. Is that the reason you may have broken up is because you're too good for her. And for some men, this may be hard for them to understand, to take in, because they may see, oh, this woman is so incredibly beautiful, and they may see themselves just as a regular guy. You could be downplaying your looks, or she may be on a scale of just looks better looking than you, and you may feel like, oh, she was your best. You may be clicking on this video right now because you may feel like she was the best girl you was ever gonna get, and you wish you could have her back, or you just want to know how you can finally get over the pain of it. Though I want to say to you, looks aside, money aside, status aside, this is not about anything you've probably ever heard of before. I'm taking all that stuff, putting it aside, your emotional baggage, and I'm gonna say, if you are the kind of person who's watching this video right now and you sat in it for this long, you're probably the kind of person who's motivated to do more in their life. You're probably the kind of person who wants to move forward in their life. You're probably a positive-minded, positive-thinking person who's sitting there like, oh, why the heck would this happen to me? I tried so hard, and you probably, if you're here this long, you probably really gave it your all into this relationship. And I feel you, because I've been there too. And I want to say to you, sometimes a woman will leave you, or a woman will want you to leave her and kind of give you signs that she'd want to, because you're too good for her. And I don't mean, like I said, looks, money, status. I don't mean any of that emotional stuff or BS. I don't mean anything like that. I mean mentally, emotionally, where your heart and your mind is, you're too good for her. She may actually potentially be someone who's lived her entire life being very spoiled and doesn't want to deal with reality, being very negative and doesn't want to deal with reality, being very depressed and doesn't want to deal with reality, being full of anxiety. She may have done a lot of things in her past that she regrets doing, and it's still carrying around a lot of emotional weight and a lot of emotional baggage on her. While you, on the other hand, past, present aside, wherever you work, however you look, however much money you make, all that aside, may have a much better mind. You may be a lot more emotionally stable, a lot more future thinking, a lot more focused, a lot more present to the moment. You may be the one who, when you guys are going out, are bringing all the fun, bringing all the excitement to the party. And it seems like she's doing it because she just, you know, seems very hot and very exciting, and, you know, like she seems like she's in a very good mood. But she may only be in a good mood because you're making her in a good mood. And when she's alone, when no one's around, she may be very depressed. She may be very miserable. And you just being someone, like I said, who bothered to search a video like this and sit in it this long, you may just be someone who's actually very, very focused on maybe hitting future goals you have, moving forward in your life. You know, you have dreams, you have aspirations, you're positive thinking, you're emotionally stable, you're trying to move forward in your life. And very, very possibly when you guys met and you got together, you may have been on the same exact mental and emotional wavelength. Though over time, it's very possible that she stayed exactly where she was. She could have had a mindset that she developed along in high school, and she stayed there. She did not do any growing up. She did not do any moving forward in her life. Even if she's got herself, this is very tricky because some people think, oh, you know, look at me, like I got a new job and I got a new apartment. I've moved forward in life so much. But I mean, on a mental level, on an emotional level, she may be the same exact person. She may have the same exact problems, and she's just in a new location. While you, even if your life didn't seem like it moved forward so much, it's very possible that you're a lot more present to the moment. You're a lot more mentally stable. You're a lot more emotionally stable than you were when you met her. You may be a lot more positive thinking. And I'm talking about all here. I'm not talking about anything superficial in this video. I'm talking about who you are as an actual person, your actual values, your actual beliefs, the way you actually carry yourself. I'm talking about you as a person. Even if she managed to get herself, you know, some amazing job where she does very little work and she gets paid a lot of money, as awesome as that may be, it doesn't mean she's a better person. It doesn't mean she did any growing or any development to get that job. Though, yeah, I'm trying to bring a point that maybe the reason you guys broke up is because you were on the same wavelength when you met, and now you're all the way over here. Yeah, like I gotta take it out of the camera, seems like the only appropriate way. And maybe she's even moved up a little bit. Maybe she has. And maybe you're really overvaluing how much she moved up. And kind of get on a personal note, I kind of felt like in a previous relationship I had, like we were maybe at the same exact place mentally when we got together. Maybe she was even a little bit ahead of me mentally. Though, I'm not going to name any names. I don't want to make this any personal. I'm not here looking for pity. I'm not here trying to call people out. I'm not here trying to put people down. I'm just trying to give usable advice to help somebody out there. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Don't want to put anyone down. I'm not trying to be negative. Though I did kind of feel like the more the relationship went on, I was with this person for a couple years, I kind of felt like in the beginning, maybe we were the same, maybe she was a little bit more. And then at some point, I don't know when this happened, I must have caught up, and at some point, I must have passed. And I'm going to say 2 years into the relationship, maybe between the second to third to possibly fourth year of the relationship, I felt like I was ahead of her 2 years mentally. And the reason I came up with this exact number, 2 years mentally, is because I would say things, she would not know what I'm talking about, she'd disagree with them, things I've learned from a video just like this. She'd completely disagree with them, she would have no idea what I'm talking about, you know, something of that. It just wouldn't make any sense to her. And then exactly 2 years later, she'll come back like, oh wow, you were right. Or she won't even remember that I told her that advice, and she'll come to that realization, and I'm like, yeah, I was trying to tell you that like 2 years ago. So yeah, I had like an actual literal bar, and this happened like more than once where it kind of felt like I was 2 years ahead of her. And at the time, I still think that was okay. That was starting to get me frustrated, and I was definitely starting to feel the distance from her and not so much relatability. But that wasn't really enough to kill the relationship on my end. And now, granted, I could say a lot of, like, you know, negative things, but I don't want to go down that road. I'm just trying to keep it like pragmatic, usable information for you. On my end, I feel like when the relationship really ended, on a personal level, they can say whatever they want about me. They can trash talk me about as much as they want. They can bring up all the baggage they want about me. I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm just gonna say on a personal level, I felt like towards the end of the relationship, the last year of the relationship at least, I felt like I was so far ahead mentally, and I've come so far. You know, I spent so much time meditating, you know, and releasing emotional trauma, getting present to the moment, basically getting my head on better, getting my emotions more under control. And I knew it was a huge difference because in the beginning of the relationship, I was worse. My emotions were very unstable, very uncontrollable, had a lot of anger problems. I definitely was not emotionally stable, was definitely not mentally stable. I was all over the place. So it was so obvious that I made like such a huge difference, and I came so far in the relationship where I was mentally and emotionally. And thanks to this person too, this is a point where I actually just say thank you, because I probably wouldn't have come so far mentally and emotionally if I wasn't with this person, and if things didn't happen the way they happened. Because this person actually kind of pushed me. I don't want to say encouraged, like they necessarily encouraged me, like gave me good word to do it. But you know, for the sake of where I was and me trying to maintain the relationship, I tried really hard to improve myself. And I found myself in a point where there wasn't even like a comparable graph, in my personal opinion, to where I was mentally to where this person was mentally. And I'm not saying that they're stupid. I think this was a really smart person I was with. I'm not saying at all anything like that. I'm just purely saying how controlled they were in their emotions and how emotionally unstable they were, how emotionally reactive they were, you know, how easy they were to get angry and upset over something, and how like mentally stable they were, you know, how much anxiety they had, how, you know, well they could control themselves and control their impulses and control their actions. You know, how focused this person actually was and actually moving forward in their life. Just all these like different like mental aspects. I honestly believe that even though my life seemed horrible, like I had like heart problems, right? My heart seemed like it wanted to stop working, and I'm honestly worried that I took a couple years off of my life because I abused my heart and didn't take good care of my heart from just lots of bad habits. Definitely not eating right was one of the worst ones, because that's what really gave me like serious heartburn. Felt like that took a couple years off my life. You know, my jobs weren't going good. I wasn't in a good place financially. Though mentally and emotionally, I felt like it wasn't even like, oh, I can say something and then this person was going to, like, you know, get there 2 years later and there's somewhat of a level of relatability with a little bit of frustration. I honestly felt like I got to a point in my life where this person was never going to be where I am mentally and emotionally. And the reason I'm telling you all this is to just kind of explain to you as well as I can, as detailed as I can without giving away too much information, that maybe the reason you broke up with this person, or this person broke up with you, or this person was giving you signs that they wanted to end the relationship, or this person is giving you signs, depending on where you are, information still works, is because, like I said, this video is for you. If you're actually sitting here watching this video, you actually watched it this long, this is probably you I'm talking about. I'm talking about me, though this is probably also you. You're probably someone, if you bother to watch a video this self-helpy, you know, just giving straight up advice, and you considering it this long, you have to be someone who's at least trying to move forward in their lives, trying to better themselves. So even if you don't have the physical manifestations or representation of this, which for everyone is usually money, you know, you can only do so much with your looks, but like honestly though, you work out, you take care of your skin, you know, you moisturize, you keep your face clean, you eat right, you're going to look better. It doesn't even matter, like you could be like a 5 out of 10, honestly. If you even, this definitely, like there's a lot of girls who are really good at this too. If they have a really good body, some guys don't care, and you can definitely get really far. Like especially a lot of girls don't really care that much about looks. They're actually a lot more concerned about where you are mentally, emotionally, which feels like a subject for another video, but it's still definitely relatable to this. Girls are a lot more concerned about where you are mentally and emotionally. It doesn't matter if you're the best looking guy in the world, you know, if you're always crying and complaining about everything, if every little thing makes you upset, they're gonna think you're just a child, and they're gonna leave you for some other guy who's just more of a man than you are, honestly, just to put it like really like kind of plain and simple and as cold as it can be. Trying to get back on subject. A woman might really leave you because, like I think I got into the point in this video, she may have left you or wants you to leave her, or you may have left her, but she was giving you signs that it was the thing to do, because you've grown so much mentally and so much emotionally since you entered that relationship that you no longer are compatible with her. And I'm not telling you this to like put you down and to say that like, oh, you lost that woman forever and you know, you screwed up or anything like that. No, you did what you needed to do, and this woman just was not moving forward in her life. And while you did, mentally and emotionally, even if you're not driving a Rolls Royce, like let go of the physical representations and physical manifestations of people, you know, being successful, and really like assess yourself as a person. You know, how much people like to be around you, how good of a person you actually are, you know, how well you're actually doing in life, how mentally and emotionally stable, and realize that this person, maybe they were hiding it really well. Maybe when they're with you, they were always in a good mood, though that could just be entirely because you're providing the good mood. And this person may actually, and you may not be aware of this, just not be the person for you, not be marriage material for anybody at all. And maybe they look better than you, but you're actually way higher than them mentally and emotionally. And you can definitely attract yourself from this position a much higher quality of woman, someone who if this relates to you, you got to understand that this is not a bad thing. It may seem like a bad thing because you lost someone who you really wanted to be with, who you really cared for, and you really wish you could have stayed with if you bothered to watch this video, who really meant something a lot to you. Though you got to realize that this can actually be a really good thing for you, because since you've come so far in the video and in life, since you come so far, that means you're in the perfect position to attract someone into your life who's going to be a lot more emotionally stable, a lot more mentally stable. And as much as you may miss that person, you are in the perfect position that you're going to find someone out there who's going to relate with you a lot better, who's going to make you a lot happier, who's going to care for you a lot more, who's not gonna just wait for you to bring the mood, to make all the plans, to wait for you to make her happy, and is actually gonna do things and go out of her way to make you happy, and is not just gonna be someone who you have to drag along in life. Is not gonna be someone who acts really happy but is actually super depressed, super miserable, has no idea how to deal with their emotions, and is not even making an attempt to deal with their emotions, deal with their mental state, move forward in life. Has no interest in meditating, even though they obviously need to, has no interest in dealing with their emotional trauma, even though they keep throwing their baggage on you. And you're gonna find yourself someone to really kind of get into, right now, is really kind of getting over the breakup, is you're going to be able to find yourself someone who is just so much better for you, I kind of want to say more God-given for you. So I don't know if you're gonna like that or not. Maybe you're not religious, but someone who's just more designed and destined to be with you. You're gonna find yourself someone who's as ambitious, as driven, as mentally stable, as emotionally stable as you are now, and they're going to make you so much happier. I feel like I'm starting to ramble right now. This has been Our World Shifted, where I help people turn their lives around. If this helps you in any way, please feel free to subscribe, and definitely feel free to leave a comment below asking any questions you would like to ask, any way you'd like me to build on this subject or on any other subject that you would like me to get on. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a better life because you saw it.